Tonight's headlines from Kuwait. It could be a major holdup in U.S. war plans. Turkey doubles its money demand for deploying U.S. troops there. The U.S. and Britain try to line up UN support for a, quote, final challenge to Saddam Hussein.
Also tonight, after the blizzard comes the massive cleanup. Shovel it out and melt it down. And a hellish scene beneath the earth. More than 100 are killed in an arson attack in a South Korean subway.
This is the CBS Evening News. With Dan Rather reporting tonight from Kuwait City and John Roberts in New York.
Good evening. President Bush made it clear today he's keeping the United States on the road to war with Iraq. An increasingly bumpy road, politically and diplomatically. Here are today's developments in the showdown with Saddam. The president said he, quote, disagrees respectfully with anti-war protesters. He and the British are fine-tuning a new UN resolution which would authorize war to disarm Iraq. In Iraq, attempts by UN inspectors to interview Iraqi scientists have hit yet another big snag. And the U.S. military says it now has 92,000 personnel in Kuwait and nearly that number elsewhere in the Gulf region. But U.S. deployment plans have run into serious new trouble. CBS's David Martin reports the Turks have decided they want a lot more money for the use of their bases.
With 180,000 American troops now in position, the U.S. has reached a major crossroads on the road to war with Iraq. Before the end of the week, it must decide whether to abandon or scale back its plans for using Turkish territory to open up a northern front against Iraq. Turkey's parliament has postponed a vote to approve the stationing of 40,000 American troops at Turkish bases because the two countries are several $1 billion apart on how much economic aid Turkey should receive in return for its help. Ships loaded with equipment for the U.S. Army's 4th Infantry Division are waiting outside Turkish ports for permission to unload. And U.S. officials say they need an answer within the next 48 to 72 hours, or they will have to divert the 4th Infantry Division to Kuwait. The U.S. has such overwhelming military power, it can work around almost any problem. But Pentagon officials say the loss of Turkey would greatly complicate their battle plan. It would require 10 more days for those ships to get from the Mediterranean through the Suez Canal and around to Kuwait. Then they would have to wait their turn behind all the other ships carrying equipment for the more than 100,000 U.S. and British troops already in Kuwait. Even after it unloaded, the 4th Infantry Division would still be hundreds of miles away from its objectives in northern Iraq. Sending the 4th Infantry Division in from the south also means an Iraqi chemical attack or anything else that disrupted the flow of forces through Kuwait would wreak even greater havoc with the battle plan. But none of that is stopping the march to war. The Pentagon has already issued deployment orders to troops slated to become part of the Iraqi occupation force 2 months from now. David Martin, CBS News, the Pentagon.
At the White House today, President Bush said last weekend's worldwide anti-war protests will not influence his decisions on U.S. security or war with Iraq. CBS's Bill Plant reports the president himself is trying to influence the United Nations Security Council on the use of force against Saddam Hussein.
The U.S. and Britain have drafted a new UN resolution as they search for a creative way to convince reluctant members of the Security Council to back up the UN's demands with military action. Diplomats say the new resolution will demand that Iraq prove in a concrete way that it is disarming. If Baghdad fails to meet the test, it, and not the UN, would be held responsible for ending the inspections and opening the way to war. President Bush said again that though a second UN resolution would be useful, the U.S. doesn't need one to go to war. Asked about anti-war demonstrations, Mr. Bush said he respectfully disagrees.
I welcome people's right to say what they believe. Secondly, evidently some in the world don't view Saddam Hussein as a risk to peace.
The massive protests are another reason Mr. Bush's ally Tony Blair says he needs the second UN resolution. U.S. officials are on board with the idea of a final challenge to Iraq. They say they'll take it to the Security Council as soon as they think they can make some progress. Bill Plant, CBS News, the White House.
Inside Iraq today, UN weapons inspectors pressed government officials about one of the most contentious issues: private interviews with Saddam's top scientists. A few such interviews have taken place, but CBS's Mark Phillips reports tonight most of the scientists are insisting on conditions the inspectors reject.
The Iraqis are trying to build on what they see as success here, trying to provide more ammunition for those at the UN and around the world who are arguing against war. Today they trotted out one of the scientists who's been interviewed by inspectors here and who insisted that the aluminum tubes Iraq has imported are for building rockets and not for enriching uranium as the U.S. claims. The UN is actually having only mixed results with its interviews. Of 30 requests it's made to speak with chemical, biological, and missiles weapons specialists, only 3 have actually been interviewed. The problem is the scientists want to tape record their interviews, presumably to protect themselves and their families against retribution. The UN's refusing, saying that would be the same as having a government minder in the room to eavesdrop. And it's all shaping up as another argument over whether Iraq is really cooperating or is merely using other means to stymie the UN. Mark Phillips, CBS News, Baghdad.
The American troops here in Kuwait must be ready to snap into action on a moment's notice, and they're training every day to do just that. I went along to see firsthand how they're preparing to face off with the Iraqi army. Today, the men of Bravo Company were back in the trenches again, practicing for the dangerous job of clearing the enemy out of bunkers.
Get out my way! Brody, the track!
They repeat the same drill over and over like a football team practicing an especially complicated play. But no one has any illusions. This is no game.
You're going to get yourself shot in the face by just running right into it.
And these guys start bounding up in front of me, they just completely killed my whole field of fire.
Bravo Company has already been training in the desert for 4 months. They're at their peak. Now the struggle is not to lose that edge. At times today, the strain was showing.
Just shut up and do what I say.
These soldiers are with the Army's mechanized infantry. They could be among the first to cross the border into Iraq. But for now, their biggest enemies are uncertainty and delay.
If we're going to do it, let's just go ahead and do it, because by us waiting and just waiting, it kind of like we get a little rusty, and I just personally feel that we're ready now. Let's go ahead and do what we have to do.
After months in the desert, even the heavy armor needs to be taken apart for maintenance. The sizzling sun and blowing sand are even tougher on soldiers.
If we're going to make a decision, we need to make it soon. You know, it's going to get summer here soon, and it's going to get pretty hot. We're going to need to either go north or go home.
Go north or go home. For now, they're not doing either. And their commanders are trying hard to keep them sharp and focused.
We don't give them time to get bored. We know that soldiers will lose the edge in a day or a week or a month. So we go back and revisit those tasks that we feel that they need more training on.
When they're not training, the soldiers are listening for any news on what lies ahead. You heard any good rumors lately?
Heard we're going home in a week. I don't really believe it.
Don't they wish that were true? Do they ever? I'll be back later in the broadcast with a profile of courage. The story of an American soldier who's risked his life for his country many times and why he does it so willingly. But right now, we go stateside to John Roberts with some of the other news of the day. John?
Thanks, Dan. And good evening from New York, just one of the cities digging out from the big blizzard that left at least 37 people dead. Before the storm moved out to sea today, Boston piled up a record 27.5 inches of snow. Philadelphia, about 19 inches. And in western Maryland, an extraordinary 52 inches of snow with 30-foot drifts. Lee Cowan reports on the cleanup after the whiteout.
Relief was measured by the shovelful today. The bigger the shovel, the better.
2 days, no plow. Try to get to work, can't get to work. 4-wheel drive, won't even get through this.
From driveways in Boston to runways in Virginia, the big dig is on.
I gotta do little by little.
For people like 72-year-old Sally Beltobsky, the snow has lost its luster.
There's no one out here to help you?
Not really. No, they live far away.
The blizzard of 2003 was, for some meteorologists, the perfect storm. The ideal combination of cold Canadian air slamming head-on into warm tropical air. A rare confluence of forces that took place right above some of the biggest cities in America.
No clouds of yet. Hopefully sometime before the end of the week.
But the monster blizzard did more than break backs and break records. It's breaking winter budgets, too. In Boston, it's costing nearly $70,000 an hour to clean up the biggest snowfall ever recorded, some 27 inches. In Maryland, the price tag is close to $30 million. New York City, $20 million. And that's the city's winter budget for the entire year.
Now, keep in mind, there are 6,300 miles of streets in New York City.
But the storm's timing was devastating, too. President's Day weekend is supposed to be a red, white, and blue sales spectacular for retailers. It wasn't.
To lose that day is, sort of double or triple what a normal shopping day would be for retailers. So it was a big hole.
For now, the biggest problem remains just what to do with all the snow. Places like New York City can't wait for it to melt on its own. So they're melting it themselves with a kind of Dr. Seuss contraption, getting a snowy mouthful, one bulldozer at a time.
Still, with the snow piled up some 2 stories high in some places, it can't get cleared away fast enough. Still, forecasters warn don't wish for a warm front anytime soon. If too much of this snow melts too fast, the blizzard of 2003 could turn into the flood of 2003. John?
Lee Cowan atop Mount Snow here in New York City. Lee, thanks. Police in South Korea are questioning a man who allegedly committed a horrible crime, setting fire to a crowded subway train. The fire and smoke killed at least 120 people and injured nearly 140 more. CBS's Barry Peterson reports it happened this morning in South Korea's third largest city, Daegu, about 150 miles south of Seoul.
This was not the work of any terrorist group, but of a single angry man described by police as handicapped, mad with society about his fate in life, out for revenge. It was done with frightening simplicity. A milk carton of flammable liquid spilled onto the floor, then ignited by a dropped cigarette lighter on a subway train just leaving the station with some 600 passengers. In an eerie reminder of 9/11, people with cell phones called loved ones. One man begging his wife, "Help me, there is a fire and the doors are locked," and then silence. For firefighters, bravery was no match for the relentless flames. "We saw people collapse," said this distraught firefighter. "We could not rescue them, we just didn't have enough people." The battle for life continued in jammed emergency rooms. Many of the bodies are burned beyond recognition. It will take weeks of DNA testing to identify the dead. And in a world fearful of organized terrorist groups, this was a horrific reminder that just a single person intent on killing can strike the heart of any city. Barry Peterson, CBS News, Tokyo.
Coming up next on tonight's CBS Evening News, who is at fault for the fatal nightclub stampede in Chicago? The finger-pointing has begun.
Marie Callender made her chicken pot pie with tender white meat chicken and a golden flaky crust made from scratch. And we're still making it Marie's way. Marie Callender's chicken pot pie, made with the care of Marie.
Morning, Joe. New haircut?
No. New shoes? No.
Hey, Joe. You been working out?
No.
Hey, Joe. Shave your mustache?
Nope.
You sure that's not a new haircut?
Yes.
Did you just get back from vacation?
No.
Did you get a promotion?
No.
Did I?
No.
What's different? He finally asked his doctor about Viagra. Ready to ask your doctor about Viagra for the first time? Find out if a free sample is right for you. To learn more, visit Viagra.com. Ask your doctor and see the difference.
Only new Oust air sanitizer kills odor-causing bacteria in the air.
I mostly sprayed Lysol in the air. I thought Lysol was an air sanitizer.
It's true. Lysol works on surfaces, but it's not meant for the air. Only Oust air sanitizer kills 99.9% of odor-causing bacteria in the air.
My daughter Carly is like a tomboy, and her clothes are stinky and gross. Little spray right away. It smells great, just fresh.
Get odor-causing bacteria out with new Oust air sanitizer. S.C. Johnson, a family company.
Oust gets rid of the odors, doesn't mask the odors.
Why would you want another credit card? Well, what if it supported your school? reflected your interests, gave you something back. Bank One gives you over 1,200 different cards to choose from, so you can choose the one that's right for you. Still carrying around someone else's credit card? Maybe it's time you got one of your own.
When dry, itchy skin is unbearable, where do you go for relief? Introducing Lanacane Body Lotion. So effective, it's in the itch care aisle. It's medicated to relieve the cause of dry, itchy skin. Combined with skin-soothing vitamins, this is the Lanacane for all over the body. It helps heal itch-causing dryness, bringing relief that lasts and lasts, even through a long winter's nap. Lanacane Body Lotion. So effective, it's in the itch care aisle.
Now, Healthy Choice Chicken Noodle Soup has 20% more roasted white meat chicken, hearty noodles, and tender slices of carrots and celery. So it's rich in flavor, not salt.
So make the delicious choice. Make it Healthy Choice.
Criminal charges were filed today in the deadly stampede at a Chicago nightclub. CBS's Cynthia Bowers is investigating the holiday weekend tragedy and the legal debate over who's responsible for it.
Amidst the grief is a growing sense of anger at the senseless loss of life. 21 deaths in all, young people, most suffocated in the mad stampede set off when security guards used pepper spray to break up a disturbance on the dance floor.
That's tantamount to yelling fire in a crowded theater.
Worse still, city officials say Club E2 shouldn't have been open in the first place. Today they filed criminal charges against the club's owners and operators for violating last summer's court order closing the second-floor club.
They were bent on breaking the law. If the city put a padlock on the doors, they would have cut the padlock.
But an attorney who represents E2 owner Dwayne Kyle says the city isn't telling the whole story.
The city is well aware that E2 has been operating at full capacity and in the open.
But whether it was open because of brazen owners or because city officials failed to follow through, one journalist who covered events here says the deaths came as no surprise.
Anyone who's been at E2 can visualize the incident taking place.
That's because, she says, despite its enormous size, E2 was usually crowded. And the only way to get into or out of the second-level club was a narrow staircase.
If I was there for a special event and it was packed, I would make sure that I left before it was over. You want to get out because you don't know what's going to happen.
Now all that's left is determining why it happened. Cynthia Bowers, CBS News, Chicago.
Still ahead on tonight's CBS Evening News, the popular herbal supplement ephedra is declared a factor in the death of a Major League Baseball prospect.
Why do so many people trust GMAC Real Estate? It's because our agents offer premier service. A commitment to service that caters to your specific needs. Which means whether you're buying or selling a home, we'll listen to your needs and get you where you want to be. It's no wonder we have an overwhelming 94% customer satisfaction rating. GMAC Real Estate. Service you deserve. People you trust.
Gotta go right now. Gotta go right now. Gotta go.
I have to go now. Sorry.
If you've always got to go, ask your doctor about Detrol LA. It's been proven effective for overactive bladder.
You need to go?
Not right now.
You shouldn't take it if you have stomach, urinary, or glaucoma problems. The most common side effects are dry mouth, constipation, abdominal pain, and headache.
And I don't have to go right now.
Detrol LA. When you've always got to go.
Can I get a 55? Give me 55. Come on, I'll give me 55. I got a 125. Give me 125. Come on, I'll give you 125. I need a 125.
I've always talked fast and loved antiques. Then I got sick and I had to go on chemo. Doctor told me I might become anemic, maybe feel weak, but it slowed me right down. For the first time in 30 years, I was too tired to work.
Time to go, Charlie.
I had to get my strength back. I asked my doctor about Procrit.
Procrit is for chemotherapy-related anemia in patients with most kinds of cancer. If you're on chemo and too tired to do the things you used to do, talk to your doctor about Procrit. Procrit helps rebuild red blood cells, and more red blood cells can mean more strength.
It's good to see you, Charlie.
Good to be back.
Procrit is proven and safe. In studies, only diarrhea and edema occurred more often with Procrit than placebo.
Okay, folks. Let's go.
Call now and learn how Procrit can help you get back the strength you need. Your strength for living.
Yep, I got 2 speeds. Fast and faster.
Computer Shopper magazine just rated Gateway the best retail store to buy a PC. Gateway's perfect score beat out 7 of the top national retail stores. So come into your local Gateway store and see for yourself. Check out the great deals on Gateway's best-selling 500 series computers.
And now there's no extra charge for shipping and handling on your home notebooks and PCs.
Call 1-800-GATEWAY today. Gateway 500 series PCs feature Intel Pentium 4 processors.
CBS News has long been investigating the herbal supplement ephedra used by millions of people to lose weight and boost energy. Critics say it causes heart attacks, strokes, even death. Now CBS's Cheryl Atkinson reports ephedra is implicated in the death yesterday of a 23-year-old pitching prospect for the Baltimore Orioles.
The coroner not only found ephedra partly to blame for Steve Beckler's sudden death, he went so far as to say no athlete should take it.
It was certainly a preventable death. It didn't have to occur, this kind of tragedy.
As the Orioles resumed training today, they remembered the young pitching prospect as being under enormous pressure, fighting a losing battle for a top spot on the team.
He wasn't able to finish his running the day before, and, he was really, distraught.
Trying to help his performance, Beckler likely took 3 ephedra pills on an empty stomach the day he collapsed, according to the coroner, and that, along with other medical issues and the heat, converged in a catastrophic event. Ephedra isn't banned by baseball, but the NFL, the NCAA, and the Olympic Committee have issued bans. As CBS News first reported, 24 soldiers have died while taking ephedra. Sales are now banned at military bases worldwide. And just last week, based on the death of a college student, Suffolk County, New York, voted to ban ephedra sales. An ephedra spokesman said today the supplement may have had nothing to do with Beckler's death, that the industry will take responsible action as the facts dictate, but that there are still many unknowns. What is known, an athlete looking for an edge, who is also an expectant father, is now on record as a preventable death, marked by a flag flying at half-staff at center field. Cheryl Atkinson, CBS News, Washington.
In North Carolina, a 17-year-old transplant patient is in critical condition tonight after what one of the world's top hospitals calls a clerical mistake. Doctors at Duke University Medical Center confirmed the heart-lung transplant operation on Jessica Santillan of Mexico was botched. The organs came from a donor with the wrong blood type, and Jessica is not likely to survive without a quick corrective transplant. And that is the news from here at home tonight. In a moment, Dan Rather in Kuwait will have a profile of courage, an American war hero preparing again for urban warfare.
At 11:30 in the morning.
Oranges. That, my friend, is the sweet smell of Windex. What? Windex.
New Windex Multi-Surface Sparkling Orange, specifically formulated to clean lots of surfaces in your kitchen, your bathroom, all over your home.
Think it works on glass, too? Only one way to find out. Hey, Wilson! Works on glass. Orange, you're glad we have him around. Well, Orange, I get it.
New Windex Multi-Surface Sparkling Orange. Multi-surface means multi-shine. S.C. Johnson, a family company.
The new Brita Smart Pitcher not only gives you clear, refreshing water, it's the only pitcher with a digital indicator, so you'll always know when to change the filter, and your water will always be refreshing. How smart is that? The Brita Smart Pitcher. Refreshingly smart.
There's a reason RE/MAX agents average more sales than other real estate people. RE/MAX agents want every transaction to be as perfect as possible. With all their experience, they know that a little extra effort can make a big difference to sellers and buyers.
Can you fly?
RE/MAX. Outstanding agents. Outstanding results.
Are you troubled by creditors? You're pre-approved. I guarantee you.
Go from fat to flat.
You've won a dream vacation.
Want to see my webcam?
Want a better way to block junk email?
Everybody loves Baklava.
crispier, flakier crust.
Switch to new MSN 8. Sign up now and get tougher junk email protection, plus 2 months free. It's better with the Butterfly. Go to try.msn.com.
Introducing a new overnight laxative, Freelax. These have stimulants that can disturb your system and cause cramps.
Freelax is different.
It's stimulant-free and cramp-free. It's new, different, it's Freelax.
It works overnight and no cramps. Freelax.
Just a few more.
I should have used Preparation H.
Preparation H medicated wipes with aloe, the easy way to cleanse, cool, and soothe. Easier because they're 4 times bigger than Tux pads. Preparation H medicated wipes. Big relief.
First, Governor Bredesen said the state budget needed to be cut 5%. That increased to 7.5%. Now the governor says all departments must cut 9%. The story at 6.
There are tens of thousands of U.S. soldiers here in Kuwait now, all ready and willing to risk their lives for their country. Most of them are young, but for some, this is not the first time. CBS's Byron Pitts has the story of a highly decorated U.S. soldier from Toms River, New Jersey, a profile of courage.
For all of America's firepower, technological advantages U.S. forces would have during a nighttime ground war. A ground war still means boots on the ground. From Marines who carry an extra dog tag in their bootlaces so Buddy can identify their body, to soldiers like Command Sergeant Major Bob Gallagher.
And we're not a bunch of hillbillies running around strawing teeth. You're not an office worker with a friggin' Skillcraft pen. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast.
Sergeant Major Gallagher was in Somalia. That battle retold in the movie Black Hawk Down. It was the last time U.S. forces tasted urban warfare and soldiers died. Gallagher says it was a nightmare he does not wish to relive in Iraq.
I love my soldiers. And when they're in harm's way, they're going to look to the left or to the right. And maybe in some cases to the front. And they're going to see me. And we'll do it together.
Urban warfare is the exact kind of fight Osama bin Laden is encouraging Iraqi citizens to wage against Americans. Even the U.S. military concedes, in such a scenario, American casualties would be significant. So commanders have had to make time to rally their troops and remind them.
We're not a bunch of rookies, and that's what this guy's counting on. What motivates me is these guys, my soldiers. It's just like the greeter in Walmart. You know, hands out the little happy stickers that says, hello, how are you? And I'm the same way. You know, I love what I do. I don't do this job because of the pay. And I don't do the job just for the potential of, you know, getting shot at. I do the job because I love soldiering.
Soldiering in harm's way. Tonight, nearly 100,000 U.S. servicemen and women are stationed here in the dark in the desert, fast approaching harm's way. Byron Pitts, CBS News, Kuwait.
And that's part of our world on a windy, cool night in the desert. For the CBS Evening News, Dan Rather reporting from Kuwait. We'll be back here tomorrow. We hope you'll join us. Good night.
For news 24 hours a day, go to cbsnews.com. AOL keyword CBS News. This is CBS.
From your news and information leader, this is News Channel 5 at 6 with Chris Clark and Vicki Yates.
Good evening. The state budget picture in Tennessee is getting bleaker.
Governor Phil Bredesen told his cabinet today there will be even more